Good morning, class, and good morning, Ms. Shala. My name is Wasima Nari, and today I'm presenting about occupational health and safety. I have a partner. His name is Sharon Joe. Um, Unfortunately, due to not being together in class, we both have to do our presentation separately. So from the name it says occupational health and safety. It means it's all about our health and safety, and most of the time it's about our workers. Okay. So me and my partner, we took some uh, news from global news. They happen all in July 15. So the Ontario government launches a workplace safety blitz to support new and young workers. Why we say new and young workers? Because we're not familiar with the workplace environment, and when young workers are most of the time they try to cut off the easy way. So that's one of the other reasons. So Occupational Health and Safety, Ontario Labour Minister Monty McNaughton had a press conference in July 15, 2019 about to launch upcoming support to affect sooner, which applied on worker safety on the following Monday. I have the link in the bottom. You can always follow up with the link and see all the news and all the pictures. Okay, so the conference was about new legislation that coming to effect to support new and young workers from hazards at workplaces. The focus will be on retail stores, restaurants, hospitality, recreational and recreational sector. There are in most places, but when we say these four names, these are the most places that people do get hurt. Anything can be a hurt. We don't know what's going to be long term, what's short term. So why we say retail store? When we say retail store, I'm just going to take you back with the other slide, but I'm just going to show you how dangerous that can be if somebody get into one of the shelves to put another stuff on the other shelf. Some workers do that and do these things. The floors usually are marble or tiles. What we do, some workers, they do mop and they don't have a safety shoes. This happened to one of my very close friends. She was working in McDonald's and she was mopping the floor, and she fell on her own mopping system, on her own mopped floor. Why? Because she had non-slippery shoes. She sued McDonald's. The McDonald's that she was working on in Markham and Eglinton, it's in Scarborough, and it happened in 2015, and if I'm not wrong. She sued the McDonald's, but she did not win 100%. She just got 25% due to her own carelessness. The 25% that McDonald's got reliable for because they did not notice her shoes that she was wearing forever. Whenever she was working, she had that shoes on. So that was a management fault, and the manager on duty fault that they did not see her having non-slippery. And we all know how McDonald's can be a fatty place to even work in there. This one. When we come to recreational place, recreational is dangerous place. Why? Swimming. The person should know swimming 100% when they try to be a lifeguard. If they're not scared of height, if they're high, how they're getting there? If they're high, what kind of shoes they have? The stairs can be wet. And one other thing, the falling and slipping is not the only one. The other reason can people get hurt mentally or bodily, it's called the chlorine level. I'm allergic with chlorine. I cannot get to the places that have more chlorine in it. I get headache, I get blurry vision, I get stomach nausea. So some people are like that. When you're interviewing a person or when you're hiring a person, you make sure that they don't have one of these things, because the workplace will affect the workplace and as well as the worker. So I'm just gonna go back here. We see the restaurants. Restaurants, again, it comes to McDonald's. If we don't have non-slippery shoes, if we don't have gloves, it's sometimes we get burned. sometimes we touch the chemical, it can affect us and our guests. Okay? So recreational sectors. Recreational sectors comes, when I say recreational, this is what we call recreational sectors. So again, increased in injuries. The government of Ontario mentioned that the amount of injuries happens to the young and new workers are in the very first month. Okay? Why? Because the very first month is the important month that people do not know anything about the job unless they are return workers. So they call new workers or young workers. So they're forcing the workplace to make sure that these kind of people who are there hiring have well trained, and so the Blitz have targeted many workplaces inspections and have been already started. Okay. So the provincial regulation, what is being done to keep the workers safe and assurance to make sure they go home safe. The focus is on those businesses that do not deliberate government rules and regulations accurately. This is just a quotation I got from the same news it's by Graham on July 15, 2019. He says, our inspectors will check that new and young workers are properly trained and supervised on the job properly every time. Provincial regulation continue. The assurance of the new and young workers from heat must be protected against workplace violence, which is sometimes a big deal. When a new worker goes, they don't know what's happening with the other workers. What they do, they start getting to an argument. If they have a mentally kind of issue, if they have some kind of disability, some people they do get laughed on, some people they do get. These are some of the stuff that they want to make sure that they don't get to a violence. Any kind of harassment, minimum age requirement, which they have to check that that person is on minimum age requirement for that job. There must be a responsible person present at work at all time to assist. Okay. Conduct field visits. These are all the numbers that the field have been visited. So this is the field visit, 2,321 field visited so far as of the legislation being by law. Visited 1,901 workplaces and issued 7,675 orders under the Occupational Health and Safety Act. This is also another direct quotation from Graham on July 15, 2019. This is meant to be a heads up to businesses. That's the main thing. The purpose of these kind of acts come in effect when a business does not follow the rules. So when we see this infographic, you see why it's never bad when they should follow the rule. And who makes them follow the rule? The management. Basically, what I would call the management, probably this is not the proper word, but basically they have to babysit all the workers. The manager is the teacher, the other ones are the babies. So they are babysitting in order for them and for the job, so they don't affect. Okay. National Safety Council. On June 23, 2019, National Safety Council launched a safety committee to educate the workers about how they should keep their eye open at work from any kind of hazard. It's every person's job to protect and keep it in mind that the hazard can be hazardous at any point. It's every person's job. It comes from my own personal experience that if you do not care about yourself, if you don't, you cannot care about other people. So you just have to be careful. It's not only manager's job; it's your job as well to protect yourself from any kind of hazard. So these are some of the steps that you can that a worker can prevent all of the accidents. Elimination, substantial, engineering controls, administrative control, and PPI. We might know the PPI meaning, but we did study in this course positive performance indicators. You can probably see why this infographic has been here. Workers' carelessness. When we say workers' carelessness, some of them, they do know what's going on in this work. What kind of dress they're supposed to wear, what kind of equipment they're supposed to use. Just wearing goggles or just wearing a hat will not protect you. If the work is required a full kind of uniform, why they say uniform, it means to keep your identity, and if something happens, people should know that's you, where you're working. I will go to a next slide later to see what kind of uniform are required for what kind of jobs. So when we say workers' carelessness of a worker place can leave a worker paralyzed or even dead. The Ontario government is forcing law, health and safety to be applied throughout the workforce. Okay. Cultural leadership. According to Ontario government, there should be a change in leadership for the workers to follow exact rules. When we say differences in leadership, it means the cultural leadership brings a big change in the workplace. I've got some direct quotation. Leadership can demonstrate their commitment to safety and compliance. Culture by including a video of themselves, training. When we say leadership, that's when I pinpoint at the beginning. Leadership is a manager. Manager is a leadership. But when a manager just doing what they are being taught, bossy, just making sure that you're making money for the company, that's not called leadership. Leadership, beside the fact that they are leader, they should be kind of friend. They should lead you to a best direction, not to just force you to do this. I'm in my placement right now. I've had enough. I still have many managers. Not all of them are a leader. Some of them are good leaders, some of them are just a manager. And I know why they're doing this, because that's their habit, or they just promote to a management, they're just being bossy and show off, or I don't know what should I call. And in some places, even the managers are also jealous with the workers that they're insecure of their own job, which I would call it like that. I've been in Canada for more than 15 years now, and I know how the rules and regulation works in most of the job cultures. But some people, they just take their job as a job. They don't take a job as a leading other workers. If you don't become a good leader, you never become a good manager. That's what's my point. So it's never late to do something good. That's my quote. It's never late. It's never late to do something good. It's never late. It's being safe. It's never late. What is late? When an employee get hurt or lose their life, who gets affected? The employee's whole family, and the job. They're losing a good employee. They're losing money due to lawsuit or due to paralyzation or due to death in that situation. Do we want that? No. Nobody wants this. It's just that we have to enforce that everybody using the proper equipment. It's still not too late. This comes from how can we prevent by well-training process, workshops, campaigns, flyers, cameras all over the work, manager on duty, safety equipment, and enforcement of following the safety equipment. This is the rate that we get from 2005 to 2018. It's a lot. This is how much people die every year in work. It's in China, but the rate is similar to Canada and US. Canada loses hundreds of people every year. This is what I mean by workshop and safeties. Nowadays, most of the workshop have safety. They try to have flyers, safety workshops for their employee for free. This is the cameras. Cameras are not for only for stealing. Cameras for safety reasons as well. You want to make sure that your worker do follow the rules. The flyers on every door, every in the wall, everywhere is mandatory. Also, emails can be sent to prevent all this. Manager duty makes a big difference. They should be on the floor. This is all the equipment, the hat, jacket, the shoes. Shoes is one of the most important thing that makes a big difference on your safety. And these are all the sources that we took from internet. You can always refer to wants to if you want to make better workplace safe for you. I thank you all for your time, and would like to have thank all my classmates and professor for your time, for listening to us and watching our video. And I'm looking forward for your comment. Thank you so much and have a great day.